Let's hear from some Palestinians who survived those strikes to see another day. A warning, though, some of the images you're about to see could be distressing.
We
were in the tent, me and all my family, when the bullets all came at us. My father went to see what's happening and said there were strikes. And a strike happened while he was talking. We all fled. My father was martyred.
We were at home when the airstrikes were ongoing. I told my mother that I wanted to use the bathroom as she was awake. Suddenly, all the walls of the bathroom and all the containers above it collapsed on me.
He was born 1 month and a half ago, and today he went back to God. His father is in intensive care at the European hospital, and his mother is wounded in her leg and hands.
Terror, terror, so much terror. Something you've never seen. Not in Hollywood or in the US. Not in Libya. Not in Syria did something like this happen. Only in Rafah. They kept saying, go to Rafah, go to Rafah. And people came here. Then you target them?
Well, let's get the latest now from our correspondent on the ground, Tareq Azzoum. He joins me from Rafah. Tareq, tell us what you're seeing and hearing there. What's the situation like right now?
Well, the situation was completely critical tonight, overnight, as the Israeli military army had started a clear attack on Rafah district in the far south of the Gaza Strip. Now, everyone knows that Rafah district is the last remaining area where more than 1.9 million Palestinians have been taking refuge in, and the attack had been very organized as the Israeli forces had used excessive firepower, as it seems to be a kind of a release of hostages operation by the Israeli special forces inside the heart-beating areas of Rafah district, where they managed to release 2 Israeli captives under heavy Israeli bombardment of residential houses, killing at least 60 Palestinians within the past 24 hours in Rafah district only. And this attack had contributed to cause sheer damage in the majority of Rafah areas, including the eastern, the central, and the western part of the district. And people were absolutely terrified, panicked. They didn't know where to go, as we have been seeing. A lot of families are running in the middle of the streets looking for a place to be away from the Israeli bombardment. And this was beyond comprehension. No one was able to realize what is happening on the ground, because there was an excessive use of firepower, and the sound of the Israeli fighter jets and surveillance drones was completely overheard in the region, with a very high loud explosions that shaking all residential buildings in Rafah district. We have been seeing today also more people are wondering about if that will be repeated tonight, kind of more military attacks, as some families started to search for another place in order to seek refuge and to be away from the Israeli unrelenting bombardment that has been unfolding Rafah district within the past few hours.
And Tareq, we know, as we've been reporting, that 1.4 million people are there because Rafah was supposed to be safe. According to the Israeli military, this is really only the beginning.
Well, Palestinians, after what they have seen yesterday, they have been completely concerned and worried about the potential military ground incursion, and they completely believe that it might be the beginning of a wide-scale attack that might be carried out in Rafah in order to militarily eliminate the military infrastructure for the armed groups here, and also for forcing people to flee more to another area, just to help the Israeli army to have a full military mobility on the ground. And this is absolutely something terrifying, specifically that people do not know where to go. They have no homes, they have no hope in terms of being safe again, especially that today a lot of children being wounded, elderly people and women also being killed due to that wide-scale attack that had been carried out. People, Palestinians here, being displaced multiple times from the houses after following the Israeli military orders to get away from areas of operations. But right now, the entire territory had been crammed into Rafah district. The population, more than half of Gaza's population, are being here. And right now, they have no any other options to have. Specifically that the Israeli army did not provide much details or a timeline for the potential military incursion that might take place at any moment. And they are afraid to have the same scenario that happened yesterday.
Of course. Tareq Azzoum, they're on the ground for us in Rafah in southern Gaza. Thank you, Tareq, and please stay safe.